Hebrews. This is our Prophets of Awakening. This is our evening Sabbath class for 26th of February, 2022. What we'll be doing is we're just going to pick up from this morning. I have a few more dots I need to connect, points I need to make on the topic is the Lord over Israel one. So I hope you got some information out of that and got some understanding out of it this morning. So we're going to try to set it up tonight. Like, share, and subscribe to Prophets of Awakening channel and hit the notification button if you can. For those that don't know, this is a non-Messianic channel. We deal with the Tanakh and the Torah. Tanakh is the Old Testament, so-called Book of Remembrance, and the Torah is the first 5 books of the Old Testament that was given to Moses by Israel's Redeemer, Lord of Hosts, on Mount Sinai. So shalom and welcome to Prophets of Awakening channel, and welcome to our evening Sabbath class. We're going to do our moment of silence, of prayer, and songs, and then do a little current events and a little Q&A, and we're going to finish up what we started this morning. Okay. Oh Lord, we come before thee at this hour, at this time, at the end of your Sabbath, to thank and praise thee for thy strength and thy love and great power. Oh Lord, we come before thee with praise because we understand now who you are, and we appreciate you, Lord. We appreciate your love, we appreciate your wisdom, we appreciate your consistency, and we appreciate your patience and understanding, and we understand your position both in heaven and earth, the roles that Yahweh, the Lord of hosts, have given you. Therefore, we come this day seeking love, wisdom, consistency of spirit, patience, and understanding. Peace be unto you. Okay. So I'm going to read the Psalms out of here. Okay. Okay. It's a prayer for deliverance. So Psalm 70, the Psalm of David. Make haste, O God, to deliver me. Make haste to help me, O Lord. Let them be ashamed and confounded that seek after my soul, and let them be turned backwards and put to confusion that desire my hurt. Let them be turned back for a reward of their shame that say, aha, aha. And let all those that seek thee rejoice and be glad in thee. And let such as love thy salvation say continuously, let God be magnified. But I am poor and needy. Make haste unto me, O God, thou art my help and my deliverer, O Lord, and make no tarrying. Okay. Any comments on that? Okay. So David is making, because he's in a certain place with the Most High and he understands him. He says, he asks for his people that proceed after him. He says, let all those that seek thee rejoice and be glad in thee, and let such as love thy salvation say continuously, that God be magnified. And that's where I'm at. I'm joyful that Most High came, got me where I'm at, and I'm glad that about it, his love and his salvation. And there's nothing on this planet that can turn me away from that. Okay? Okay. What's up, Markel Bruce? Okay. So with that being said, anybody got any current events they want to talk about? Okay. Everybody good?
Yes, sir. Hallelujah. Yes, sir.
Okay. So I'm gonna I got some things I want to do or shine a light on pertaining to what's going on with Russia and Ukraine, and then we go into some the Q&A. Uh, here we go. Is there need to know information? Okay. This happened today after the Sabbath class. Can you see that?
No,
You don't see that?
it's up now.
Okay. Ukraine conflict. Russia issues Sweden and Finland NATO military threats. So we saw this morning they issued out threats to the West. They issuing out threats all over the place. He already in the bad, but he issuing out these threats. So evidently he knows something. So prior to the invasion of Ukraine, the Kremlin sought assurance for NATO that sought assurance from NATO that its neighbors would not be permitted to join the military alliance. The basis of Russia's security fears is the eastern encroachment of the North Atlantic Treaty member states toward its own borders, or with Ukraine, a vital buffer between NATO and Russia itself. Although Ukraine first attempted to join NATO in 2008 through the Membership Action Plan, this was shelled by Viktor Yaroslav after his election in 2010. Then Yulia Tishchenko, or whatever his name is, successor, preferring to adopt a line of closer relationships with Moscow. And he says Ukraine is an enhanced opportunity partner of the alliance, but not a full NATO member, which means that the treaty is powerless to intervene in the current conflict in Ukraine soil. It is also a member of NATO's Partnership for Peace program, along with Russia and 20 other states, mainly from the former Soviet bloc or within the geographical and political sphere of Moscow. Bill Clinton once declared that this Partners for Peace acts as a track that will lead to NATO's membership. Only 5 EU members are currently members of the uh, Partnership for Peace, including Sweden, Finland, who have now come under the scrutiny of Moscow for their alignment with NATO. So what we're looking at was, he said, we see that in 2008, United States and these NATO countries trying to ease Ukraine into to NATO and to side with and make alliance with the West, and the Russians ain't going for that. That's what happened in 2014. And so since then, they've been trying to backdoor it again. And so that's why we where we are today. We just came all the way out and shut it down. You know, it ain't looking good. Any comments? Okay. Got another one right here. Okay. And what I mean by it ain't looking good is this is one of the examples right here. Can you see that?
Yes.
It says that Russia's army deploys its TOS-1 heavy flamethrower capable of vaporizing human bodies near Ukraine border. Footage shows. So it shows the footage of it. There you go. If they're gonna need that for, I don't know, but you see the time it is. CNN footage shows the TS-1 heavy flamethrower being deployed near the Ukrainian border. This TOS-1 heavy flamethrower is able to shoot thermobaric rockets. Thermobaric weapons, I don't know if I'm saying that right, are capable of vaporizing human bodies and crushing internal organs, they say. So like I said, why would they need this with Ukraine? I don't know. Seems like to me it's sending a message to somebody else other than Ukraine. Okay. Okay. go. And like I said, I keep on reading the out of Second Ezra about the 3 heads that he said the Most High said he had reserved for the end. And I told you that, the track record of Esau and his origins, that where he came from, and the story behind him returning to the land in 1948 and all that, and how the crown, so-called king, the crown, the throne of David is in Britain, Great Britain, and they want to bring it back to Israel, and they want to rule the world for 1,000 years from Israel. And like I said before, that ain't in prophecy. This ain't prophecy. So let's look at this right here. Now, keep in mind all the money that America has sent over there to Israel. And we're going to get off this. Okay, so it says Israel failed to sign. Look at this. Israel fails to sign on to U.S. text condemning Russia at the NSAC. So it found some kind of reason not to be involved in condemning Russia. When you go back and look at their so-called history with Netanyahu and all that coming to the Congress, to the Congress and making that speech in front of all the our politicians, you would assume that they'd be quick to jump on that, but they found some kind of way to not be a part of that text, condemning Russia. Okay? So anyway, okay, with that being said, I'm going to, let me see what else I got up here. Yeah, I got one more. And this one right here is major too. Let me click on it. So all these European countries in the West, everybody's afraid to make a move when it's coming to Putin. But let's look at this. Check it out. It's major.
Armaments delivery, including anti-tank weapons, surface-to-air missiles, and rocket-propelled grenades. The policy shift brings Germany into line with other Western allies supplying weapons to Ukraine. Earlier, Chancellor Olaf Scholz met leaders from Poland and Lithuania to discuss imposing tougher sanctions against Russia on top of measures already announced by the European Union and the United States. Bolstering the NATO military presence in several EU countries is also on the table. With me in the studio is political correspondent Thomas Sparrow. Thomas, welcome. The shift from Germany here to the delivery of lethal weapons, how significant is this?
This has to be one of the most significant shifts in German foreign policy in years. What has happened not only now, but this week in Germany. You may remember that at the beginning of the week, the shift there was that Germany had decided to halt or to freeze the Nord Stream 2 gas pipeline, which links Russia to Germany. That was already then a major change. And now you have this also a very significant change because Germany had a long-standing policy of not sending weapons to crisis zones because of its own belligerent history, because it believed that it could make diplomacy more difficult. There were other reasons as well, but the fact that now the German government has confirmed that it is indeed sending weapons to Ukraine, both directly from its own Bundeswehr stocks, but also indirectly through countries like the Netherlands or Estonia, is really a remarkable shift in foreign policy in Germany.
Quite a few things shifting as we speak. Germany is also joining other EU countries in supporting targeted restrictions on Russia's use of the SWIFT financial system. What's changed in Germany's position?
And the key word is targeted, because for now Germany had also been very reluctant to support other EU countries in banning Russia from the SWIFT financial system because it believed that by doing so there would be major collateral damage here in Germany for businesses that work with Russia or for gas deliveries that come from Russia to Germany. But now the change is that they want to work in a way that they can have this targeted way of sanctioning Russia in this regard, that basically means is that they'll try and find ways in which those collateral damages are reduced to a minimum, while at the same time making sure that the ban is implemented so that Russia can be affected.
We're also hearing that the first groups of people fleeing the war in Ukraine have arrived through Poland and to here in Germany. Do we know yet how many people are taking that journey?
This is actually another element of this whole conflict. So it's not only about sending weapons to Ukraine or imposing more sanctions on Russia. It's also about making sure that people who are fleeing the conflict in Ukraine can be received not only here in Germany, but also in other countries. If you look at EU and UN estimates, the numbers of people who might flee if the conflict continues, if the conflict worsens, is a very, very high number indeed. So far here in Germany, those numbers are more limited. So the border region between Germany and Poland, the federal state of Brandenburg, has said that it is expecting up to 10,000 people. Here in Berlin, the first few families have also been registered. Numbers are still very low, but those numbers could increase certainly if the conflict worsens. And that's why preparations are also underway, not only here in Germany, but also in countries like Poland, to make sure that people who flee the conflict in Ukraine can also be accepted and taken in a humane way.
Our political correspondent Thomas Barrow. Thanks.
Okay. Anybody got any comments on that? So if you go back and you remember that Hitler made a statement that, you know, went over a lot of people's head, but he made a statement that America has the most highest jewels in their possession. So don't think that Russia and China don't understand that too. They know exactly who the Israelites are. And a lot of what's going on is behind that. They're trying to get them, you know, that's the only reason America done lasts as long as it has, with all the drama and the trickery and trickeration that it's done. That's the only reason it's lasting this long, because of we here, the Israelites. And they want them out of here. And no sooner than we out of here, you're gonna see some stuff. That's where we at. In comments. Okay, so we at the point where I'm opening up for questions, comments, we're gonna anything anybody want to bring up, or anything they heard, anything about the class this morning and the information. If you want some clarity or whatever, we can talk about it right here before we go into
It's always ask about the names, because it's so many names used in the Israelite community for Most High. With us, it's the Lord of Hosts, Most High, Yahweh. Because some people are what I call the Most High, I call him Yahweh, and some people call it the Lord of Hosts, Yahweh. And some people, they don't, they use God a lot of times in the Bible, and it's like, nobody really knows the name. So I don't want to call the wrong name.
right.
Some people say Yah is not the name, and some people say, they say God is dog spelled back, but you don't use that. So I've been using Lord of Hosts and the Most High. So I'm just wondering, take on, what we should call, I know that it's so many people have so many things. If I don't say this, don't call him this name, or call him this. What's your take on that?
Well, first of all, we've been cast out of our land, and we under the curses. So, like I was saying before, when he brought them into the land, he gave them those laws and statutes and all that at Mount Sinai, and told Moses and Aaron what to do, how to make the sacrifices, because they was going into his land. Those things are required to live on the land. We ain't in the land. And so just like he did before we left Egypt, and he brought all the information back to us Same thing is gonna happen this time. We're gonna get prep for on how to exist in the land. That's the purpose of raising up our forefathers, and especially Elijah. We're gonna be informed on all that. And another thing, those are titles. Those are titles. A lot of them is not their name. Like, for instance, when you understand that Melchizedek is a title. Well, Enoch was Melchizedek. Noah was Melchizedek, Shem. So their names, those are titles. Like the Most High, that's a title. And so when you understand that they're titles, they self-explanatory. If he the Most High, it means nobody's hiding him. That's Yahweh. And then, like I was saying, the Lord of Hosts keep telling you, I'm the Savior. He doing all the work and all the things that he do, and all his characteristics is point you to him as he's the Savior. He's not trying to be the Most High. So when you see Redeemer, Savior and all that, those are titles that we know the name of the actual entity, the being is Michael. But those are titles. And so when you start looking at it from that perspective, you pretty much can put those titles. You can put those titles to whoever it belongs to.
Yeah, that's
Like,
kind of how I do because I don't, I never know the name, so I always say Lord of Hosts or Most High
right,
because I don't
right.
want to. Yeah, okay, that makes sense.
And I saw something. I saw something that helped me a lot. It was revealed to me. The only thing I could say about it was the Yahweh, right? It's Yahweh is the self-existing one, and then you got Yahweh of hosts. So he tells us in Exodus 23 that the Lord of hosts has his name in him. So he Yahweh, and then Yahweh of hosts, because Michael means, when you go break these angels' names down, his name means he who is like Yahweh. That's what makes him different than all the other angels. He got characteristics like Yahweh. He's able to create and do things that Most High can do. And that's how we know. I mean, like I said, once you understand that, that trumps all those lies they got in the New Testament. It kills all of them. Once you get a hold to it and rightly divide it, yeah.
I remember, the Christian song that has all those names. What is it? Uh, El Shaddai,
Yeah, right,
the Prince.
exactly.
What
Right.
is it? What's that song? They got about 5,000 names.
Yeah, right,
Um,
right,
yeah,
right.
it's just too much.
Ain't that something? That's like I didn't really.
Jehovah Jireh. And I
Right,
mean, I don't know where they got it from, but we always used to say, I remember that song. And I just like, and it was a while ago that it was just people debating about the name. And it's just like, I
right,
don't want to be calling on the wrong person. So I
right,
just don't. I don't know.
right. Another thing about that is about the Jehovah Jireh and all that. If you go back and look at that, because I did, and it's got 7 different uh, characteristics when it comes to that, and so that explains what Enoch tells us. The Most High is a consuming fire. That's in Ezekiel chapter 1. Then he created 7 angels from that, archangels. Those are 7 different expressions of him. Because they was formed from him, from the fire that's from him. He made them. And that's his eyes. Like I was saying before, what they see, he can see. That's why he said that his eyes. When they out and about in a certain form, when they pure fire, what they see, he can see it.
Okay. Okay.
Yeah. Okay. Anybody else? Okay, yeah, I was going to shine a light on one thing based off the information that went forth this morning. I know everybody familiar with Jude, about the Lord is coming with 10,000 saints. Anybody heard that before? In the book of Jude.
No,
You never heard that?
I haven't.
Okay, let me read it. I'm in the New Testament, but I'm gonna clean it up. Sooner than I can read this. It says, and like I said, when you understand the plagiarism and the typology, this is why I'm going here. This is a lot of our problem, dude. Let me get it. Here you go. So it says, chapter 4, it's only one chapter, verse 1. Chapter 1, verse 14 says, and Enoch. So they tell you, well, this solidify Enoch right here. But you got everybody thinking the book of Enoch is unreadable. You don't supposed to deal with it. But it says, and Enoch also, the seventh from Adam, prophesied. So if he prophesied, he got a book. He prophesied of these saying, behold, the Lord cometh with 10,000 of his saints. So we know, like I said this morning, the Lord walked with Enoch. He walked with Noah. He came walking in the cool of the day, talking to Adam. So it's the same Lord that I broke down this morning. So this the Lord of hosts right here. And and it even tells you that indirectly, but when you have understanding what's going on. Verse 9. Yet Michael, the archangel, when contending with the devil, he disputed about the body of Moses. Doeth not bring him a railing accusation, but said, the Lord rebuked thee. So we see right here all the information right there, but they didn't got us off on some other train of thought. You can't connect that and put it together. So anyway, like I was saying before, so when you go to the book of Enoch, where they got this from, when you understand they pulling all this information from different sources, and then they generating the source, so you can't go there and connect the dots to see what they've done. So now I'm in the book of Enoch. Let me see what they said. Okay. Yeah, Enoch chapter 1, verse 15. Says, chapter 1, verse 15 says, and behold, he cometh, he is the Lord, he cometh with 10,000 of his holy ones to execute judgment upon all, to destroy all the ungodly, and to convict all flesh of all the works of their ungodliness which they have ungodly committed, and of all the hard things which ungodly sinners have spoken against him. And him is the Lord of hosts. So this is where they got it from, but the average person don't even know that. So what all they doing, they plagiarize the book of Enoch. They got this information from the book of Enoch. And if you notice, that's why the book of Jude is so short, because all they did was took some verses and some precepts out of Enoch and stuck it over there and made Jude with it. Okay. Any comments? Okay, so now I'm gonna deal with closing out on what I started this morning with, is the Lord over Israel or one. Okay, I'm gonna read Deuteronomy 6 and 4, chapter 6, 4, verse 4 and 6, like I did this morning, for the people that wasn't there this morning and didn't understand where I was coming from. So chapter 6 of Deuteronomy, verses 4 through 7 says, hear, O Israel, the Lord our God, he is one Lord, and thou shalt love the Lord thy God with all thine heart, and with all thy soul, and with all thy might. And these words which I commend thee this day shall be in thy heart, right? And thou shalt teach them diligently unto thy children, and shalt talk to them when thou sittest in thine house, and when thou walkest by the way, and when thou liest down, and when thou rises up. So this is how we lost the understanding of who he was, because they hid our identity from us and throw us off, got a hold of our records. So this ain't happening no more. But before, it was understood who was who was over Israel. All that was understood. They didn't denigrate it. That's what Psalms 83 is about. Let me read that right quick. This is what Psalms 83 is talking about. Psalms 83 says, keep not silent, O God, and hold not thy peace. Be not still, O God, for lo, thy enemies, these are Gentiles and the heathens, make a tumult. They that hate thee, they ain't talking about Yahweh, they that hate thee have lifted up the head. They have taken crafty counsel against thy people and consulted against thy hidden ones and have said, come and let us cut them off from being a nation, that the name of Israel may no more be in remembrance. So we saw this morning that they have the Lord of hosts name in them. When they praying and all that, that's what they keep saying. And we dealt with that on the fact that the Most High told Moses, this angel gonna follow you and my name is in him. You have to track that. You have to track that down to what they talking about. So these people right here understood that. And they said, come, verse 4, come, let us cut them off from being a nation. And how? That the name of Israel may no more be remembered. So they took out the understanding who he was. For they have consulted together with one consent. They have a confederate against thee, against the Lord of hosts. The tabernacle of Edom, he lists all of them. The Ishmaelites, Moab, the Hagarenes, all these kinfolks, Gebal, Ammon, Amalek, Philistines with the inhabitants of Tyre, and keep going. They all these people, they got together and attacked our understanding of who the Lord of hosts was and the order that was set in place by the Creator in the beginning. Okay? So, like I was saying before, I read Deuteronomy 6, 4 through 7, and I this morning I broke down the fact that what that meant when you rightly divided. And I also showed you that in the Apocrypha where Nebuchadnezzar, before he when we pick it up, when he comes and attacks Israel and take all the Israelites to the land to the Chaldea, to Babylon, he had came before earlier in the book of Judith, but he had a different Lord of hosts. And so I'm shining the light on the fact that the Lord of hosts part of it, because these men came in contact with the Lord of hosts and they saw the order that he had. Just like the 70 elders saw the 7 angels on Mount Sinai. They saw Yahweh and 78, that's Godhead. And like I said, 1 and 7 ain't one. So anyway, so he had this guy Hopham as his Lord of hosts, which in other words, commander in chief. It's no different than two. Commander in chief. Commander in chief working for the king. He being commanded. He's second in charge. That's who the commander in chief is. He ain't first in charge. There's somebody over him. So this guy Hopham is Nebuchadnezzar's Lord of hosts, but Judith killed him, right? And so then we pick it up in Jeremiah 39. Now he has Nebuzaradan. Nebuzaradan is Lord of hosts. And I showed you how that the Most High had, in the beginning, he formed these 7 angels. And I showed you how these people they saw this. They saw him. They were dealing with him. So we're going to go to Jeremiah 39. Okay. This when Nebuchadnezzar came back. He came back again to Jerusalem, and he was sent by the Lord of hosts. So I'm gonna start in chapter 39, verse 1. This is the fall of Jerusalem that was prophesied by Jeremiah. It says, in the 9th year of Zedekiah, king of Judah, in the 10th month, came Nebuchadnezzar, king of Babylon. That king of Babylon, and see that, and all his army against Jerusalem, and they besieged it. So we're gonna see what his army consists of. And in the 11th year of Zedekiah, in the 4th month, the 9th day of the month, and the city was broken up. Here we go. And all the princes, right? See that? So, excuse me. Michael, Gabriel, Raphael, 7 princes. That's what Enoch tells us. Most High got 7 princes under him. Michael is the one in charge out of the 7. So right here, Nebuchadnezzar, we're going to see how many he got. Verse 2. And in the 11th year of Zedekiah, in the 4th month, on the 9th day of the month, the city was broken up. And all the princes of the king of Babylon, right, came in, sat in the middle gate. They give you their names. See that? These giants. Well, I can't even begin to say their names. So, but it's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and Nebuchadnezzar, Lord of hosts. That's the 7. That ain't an accident. So you got the same setup the Most High got. Then verse 4, and it came to pass that when Zedekiah, king of Judah, saw them and all the men of war, then they fled and went forth out of the city by night and by the way of the king's garden, by the gate between the 2 walls, and he went out the way of the, to the plains. But the Chaldean army pursued after him, overtook Zedekiah in the plains of Jericho, and when they had taken him, they brought him up to Nebuchadnezzar, king of Babylon, at Riblah. See that? So Nebuchadnezzar ain't where they at. He's in another part of Jerusalem. He's not where his army is at. We're going to see that in a minute. And they brought him up to Nebuchadnezzar, king of Babylon, at Riblah, in the land of Hamath, where he gave judgment upon him. Then the king of Babylon slew the sons of Zedekiah in Riblah before his eyes. Also, the king of Babylon slew all the nobles of Judah. Moreover, he put out Zedekiah's eyes and bound him with chains to carry him to Babylon. And the Chaldeans burned the king's house and the houses of the people with fire and break down the walls of Jerusalem. Now here we go. 9. And Nebuchadnezzar, here go the heart of all the hosts. And now Nebuchadnezzar, I was telling you earlier about those titles. And Nebuchadnezzar, captain of the guard, carried away the captives into Babylon, and the remnant of the people that remained in the city, and those that fell away, that fell to him. See that? They fell to him because he getting commandments from the king, just like the Lord of hosts is. So they fell away to him with the rest of the people that remained. So here we go. 10. But Nebuchadnezzar, the captain of the guard, this is the Lord of hosts, left the poor of the people which had nothing in the land of Judah, and gave him vineyards and fields at the same time. Then verse 11. Now Nebuchadnezzar, this is the king. We see both of them working simultaneously. Nebuchadnezzar got Nebuchadnezzar's name in him. See that? It says, and Nebuchadnezzar, king of Babylon, gave charge. See that? He gave charge concerning Jeremiah to Nebuchadnezzar. Ain't no different than Yahweh and the Lord of hosts. That's why he's coming down and saying, thus saith the Lord. Thus saith the Lord. These 7 angels, Yahweh, they Lord. And then the prophet comes and tells the people, thus saith the Lord. This is a chain of command. And we see it right here. The king of Babylon is he done perfected. The same, when he met the Yahweh, he saw those 7 angels and saw him, he did the same thing in his kingdom. He got 7 princes under him. Got one of them in charge. Nebuchadnezzar. Nebuchadnezzar got his name in him. Like I said before, ain't no accident. Okay? So right here, I'm showing you in verse 9 where it says Nebuchadnezzar, captain of the guard. This I'm showing you how they're playing with the words. Okay, so let's go to Joshua. Right quick. Book of Joshua, chapter 5. Okay, chapter 5 of Joshua. And it says right here, they getting ready to fight at Jericho. And we come to verse, I'm in chapter 5, verse 13. And it came to pass when Joshua was by Jericho that he lifted up his eyes and looked, and behold, there stood a man over against him with a sword drawn in his hand. And Joshua went to him, said unto him, art thou with us for us or for our adversaries? Now look what he's telling. And he said, nay, but as captain of the host. See how they playing with the words? That's the Lord of hosts. Just like Nebuchadnezzar is Lord of hosts. He's the Lord over Nebuchadnezzar's army. The Lord of hosts. And this man right here that Joshua talking to is Michael, Lord of hosts with the sword. But they trying to throw you off by saying captain of the host of the Lord. See that? Captain of the host of the Lord, I am not come. We know who that is. We done rightly divided there. Okay. So one more place. I had went to get it. I had went to let me get my book. I had went to the Apocrypha, and I was telling you about this guy, Nebuchadnezzar first, Lord of hosts, and I want to shine a light on something right quick. It's let me get it. So it says right here, says that in chapter 2 of the book of Judah, verse 28 says, so the fear and the horror of him, this is the Lord of hosts. He coming, he's destroying everything. Nebuchadnezzar sent him to destroy everything for everybody that didn't listen to him when he sent them letters to them to come help him. So the fear and the horror of him fell on all the inhabitants of the seacoast who were in Zidon and in Tyre, and those who lived in Sur, Acton, and all who lived in Jemna, and in the inhabitants of Ashkelon were exceedingly afraid of him. So they sent messengers and said in a peaceful terms, here we servants of Nebuchadnezzar, the great king, lie before you, use us as please. So they're afraid of him. That's one of the characteristics. That's one of the things that this Lord of hosts brings about, because he's doing the bidding for the king. And whatever the king say do, he's going to do it. Ain't nobody gonna cut him out. So that's one of the when you go back and you research in Hebrew and find out what this Michael means, that's one of the characteristics of his name. Is he who fears. He who, when he shows up, he brings fear. When you go do your research. So let's look at it in the scriptures. I'm in Exodus 23. Exodus 23, like quick. Okay. Okay. Exodus 23 and verse let me read. I'm gonna start at verse 20. Exodus 23. I'm gonna start reading at verse 20. Okay, so 23, it says 20. Behold, I sent an angel, but this is the Most High talking to Moses on Mount Sinai. Behold, I sent an angel before thee, keep thee in the way, bring thee into the place which I have prepared. Beware of him, obey his voice, provoke him not, for he will not pardon your transgressions, for my name is in him. But if thou shalt indeed obey his voice and do all that I speak, then will I be an enemy unto thine enemies and an adversary unto thine adversary. We saw the same thing happen with Nebuchadnezzar. He told Nebuchadnezzar, do right by Jeremiah, and Nebuchadnezzar obeyed him. Then 23, for mine angel shall go before thee and bring thee into the Amorites, the Hittites, Perizzites, the Canaanites, the Havites, the Jebusites, and I'll cut them off. Thou shalt not bow down to their gods, nor serve them, no, nor do after their works, but thou shalt utterly overthrow them and quite break down their images. And ye shall serve the Lord, your God, the Lord of hosts, and ye shall bless thy bread. He shall bless thy bread and thy water, and I will take sickness away from the midst of thee. There shall nothing cast their young, nor be barren in that land, and the number of the days I will fulfill. And I will send my fear. See that? Who his fear is? Lord of hosts. I will send my fear before thee, and I will destroy all the people to whom thou shalt come, and I will make all thy enemies turn their backs unto thee. That's like I said, that's one of the roles of the Lord of hosts. He brings fear. And whatever commandment is given to him, he gonna carry them out. And we see right here, when they got into the land of Canaan, Micah doing the same thing this guy Hoffman was doing for Nebuchadnezzar, destroying everything in his path for the kingdom of Babylon and for Nebuchadnezzar. Ain't nothing new under the sun. Okay? So, with that being said, I'm going to go to and read this right here, and then I'm going to open up for some questions, and we'll close out. So, I'm in Daniel. I showed you this morning where these three angels came to Abraham in Genesis chapter 18, and then he addressed them. It was three angels. Three men came to him. One of those three angels, and one of those three men was the Lord of hosts. Yahweh was up in heaven. So I established who the Lord was. He's not Yahweh. He's one of those angels, and we know it's Michael, right? So we're going to go to Daniel. And it's going to make it plain. I'm in Daniel chapter 8. Daniel chapter 8. So like I said, you got to familiarize yourself with these stories, because when you start doing that, familiarize yourself with these stories, a lot of stuff started coming to the light. Okay. So I'm in Daniel chapter 8. And Daniel had a dream of the ram and the he-goat, right? And I'm going to pick it up in verse 15. And it says, and it came to pass when even I, Daniel, had seen the vision and sought for the meaning, then behold, there stood before me as the appearance of a man, right? So you're supposed to be expecting that. And I heard a man's voice between the banks of the Uliah, which called and said, so here go these names. I'm tying these three angels that's in Genesis 18 to this story right here, because that's who they are. So, and I heard a man's voice between the banks of the Uliah, which called and said to Gabriel, make this man understand, make Daniel understand. So he came near where I stood, and when he came, I was afraid, and I fell upon my face. But he said unto me, understand, son of man, for at the time of the end shall be the vision. And now as he was speaking with me, I was in a deep sleep on my face toward the ground, and he touched me and set me upright and said, behold, I will make thee know what shall be in the last end of indignation for the time appointed. So we see right here, one of those angels is Gabriel, right? And so if it was three angels came in Genesis 18. So it's another angel that's commanding right here. It's another angel commanding Gabriel. Yahweh not in the picture. So we're gonna rightly divide that. So we're gonna go from there. Same, this is a continuation from chapter 8 all the way to chapter 12 of Daniel. Same story going on. A lot of people don't know that. So I'm gonna pick up in chapter 12. And at that time, Michael, here go the other one. Here go another one. We got 2 out of the 3. At that time, Michael shall stand up. The great prince shall stand for the children of thy people, and there shall be a time of trouble such as never since there was a nation, even at that same time. And at that time, thy people shall be delivered, everyone that shall be found written in the book. So we see right here, they're going to be delivered. We already know it's an angel that they deliver, right? 2, and many of them that sleep in the dust of the earth shall awake, some to everlasting life, and some to shame and everlasting contempt. Before I go any further, I know you got some people out there saying, how you figure that that's Michael in chapter 12, verse 1. We're gonna get there in a minute, right? It said, and they that be wise shall shine as the brightness of the firmament, and they that turn many to righteousness as the stars forever and ever. But thou, O Daniel, shut up the words, seal the book, even to the time of the end. Many shall run to and fro in the earth, and knowledge shall be increased. Then I, Daniel, looked, and behold, there stood the other 2. Now we got all 3 of them here, right? And one on this side of the bank of the river, and the other on the other side of the bank of the river. That takes you back to chapter 8. Daniel by the river. 3 angels came, just like 3 angels came to Abraham. 6. And one said to the man clothed in linen, which was upon the waters. We know that's Michael that was on the water in Genesis chapter 1. Moved on the water. Yahweh was there in the very beginning, and he was on the water, the Lord of hosts. And I heard a man that says 6. And one said to the man clothed in linen, which was upon the waters of the river. It's an angel on one bank and an angel on the other bank, and it's one standing in the middle of the river on top of the water. This ain't no regular man. So one said to the man clothed in linen, which was upon the waters of the river, how long shall it be unto the end of these wonders? And I heard the man clothed in linen. See that? I heard the man clothed in linen, which was upon the waters of the river, when he held up his right hand and his left hand under heaven, and swore by him that liveth forever and ever, that it shall be for a time and a half time. And when he shall have accomplished to scatter the power of the holy people, all these things shall be accomplished. So if he raised his hands up to heaven and he an angel, Yahweh, he raised his hands up to Yahweh. Yahweh the one live forever and ever. So let's look at it right quick. Okay? You're gonna write it, divide this. So I'm in chapter 32. I went there this morning. And it says, Deuteronomy chapter 32. He's gonna do the same thing he just did on the water. He's gonna do it again right here. 32. And Deuteronomy 32, verse 39. So now I, even I, am he, and there is no God, no angel with me. I kill, I make alive, I wound, I heal. Neither is there any that can deliver out of my hands. I lift up my hands under heaven, and I say I live forever. See that? Doing the same thing he did over there when he's dealing with Daniel, the man clothed in linen, right? So let's go back over here, and it says 8, Daniel chapter 12, verse 8. And I heard, but I understood not. Then said I, oh my Lord, see that? What shall be the end of these things? And he said, go thy way, Daniel, for the words are closed up and sealed to the time of the end. Many shall be purified and made white and tried, but the wicked shall do wickedly, and none of the wicked shall understand. I'm gonna read that again. And many shall be purified and made white and tried, but the wicked shall do wickedly, and none of the wicked shall understand, but the wise shall understand. See that? And from the time that the daily sacrifice shall be taken away, and the abomination that make a desert set up, there shall be 1,290 days. Blessed is he that waiteth, and cometh to the 1,330 days. But go thy way till the end be, for thou shalt rest and stand in thy lot in the end of days. Okay? Any comments or questions? Okay. Everybody good?
Yes.
Good.
Okay, yeah. So I just wanted to, like I said, I wanted to do that little part 2 to what we did this morning to seal that up. So with that being said, we right at an hour. Nobody have no comments or no questions. We're gonna conclude it right there. Okay. Yeah, you come up, if you go back and listen to it and come up with some questions, write them down and just ask. We go in on it. Shalom.
Shalom.
Okay.